Hey everybody, it's Skinny K here, and I wanted to talk to you with uh, another 1987 movie. One that I really didn't want to do, but I did I did all the three of the four movies of the franchise, and that's Jaws: The Revenge, the fourth one. I believe directed by Joseph Sargent. Um, You got Lance Guest, of course, being one of the Brody's sons. I believe Sean Brody. Oh yeah, and it's not Sean Brody.
We
Sean
got
Brody is the guy
Rory
who gets
Gary
killed in
reprising
the
a role
boat. It's
as
Michael Brody.
Alan
That's
Brody.
the um, and you got Mario Van Peebles, who in the movie Ali plays Malcolm X. He does great roles. So, but and of course Hoagie, who's the a little bit the not so flying by the books airplane flyer guy who probably does a lot of laundry and drug trafficking. He's played by um, Michael Caine. Now, a lot of famous names, right? But this movie is so. I saw it a few days ago to rewatch it, and I actually forgot. So you got Sean Brody and the other Brody. I even forgot it. I forgot his name. I'm just gonna say Deputy Brody. So we're at Amity Island. It's Christmas time. The sheriff Martin Brody, is dead, but we see a picture of him in the sheriff's office, and then we see the youngest son. What was it? I even forgot his name. I'm just gonna because he's now a deputy, right? From the for the island of Martha's Vineyard. Island of Martha's shot on the island of Martha's Vineyard. I'm not sure this one was shot on the island of Martha's Vineyard, but the original was. And we got Deputy Brody going home. He has a girlfriend. He's a younger guy, of course. He's the youngest brother, and he is eating with his wife, and and he's at home. He's visiting his mom, Lorraine Gary, of course. Then he goes back to the office, and he immediately gets, I think Polly is the same one, but I'm not sure it's the same actress. She's the same one, the secretary of Martin Brody in 75, but I think it's supposed to be the same one, but another actress. Now she says fishermen are complaining that there is a buoy and a big piece of driftwood hanging on this buoy, and it has to be released, and nobody's willing to do it, and the harbor master isn't willing to do it, so he has to do it. They have this little patrol boat for the police. He goes up and tries to wedge it loose from this buoy. And of course, what we see are gaping jaws coming out of the water. And you see this big piece out of the boat, and we see him. He's like, and he has this white, yellow rain jacket on, and we see him touching, and we see that his arm's gone. Okay, his arm was bitten off, and then the shark, then he does this, help me, because he's not too far from the coast, because you see all these carolers and these trumpeters, this people are trying to rehearse for the Christmas pageant, and he's yelling, help me, and then the shark attacks again. Then we see this you see the yellow jacket, we see some blood, we see the shark jaws. We never see the shark really, but we see the jaws. And then eventually we see the boat sinking. The boat has now a lot more damage. It sinks. Then Brody comes back up and says, help me. And then he gets down and there he goes. At some point, Lorraine Gary has to. They find the remains, and what she sees is, of course, like in the first movie, the remains of Christine Watkins, the girl that went swimming. In the beginning, you only have an arm, maybe a piece of leg, a piece of torso, but most of it has been devoured. And then that's Sean Brody, I guess, Lance Guest, knowing him from Halloween 2, right? As Jimmy, the the paramedic. Um, he still looks the same kind of, but here he has a beard, a little shriller voice, but it's actually just from 1981. Sorry, Halloween 2 from 1981, so it's been 6 years later. Yeah, it's not that old then. His wife can't remember his wife. He does have a daughter. He come to visit, of course, their mom. He says his mom, Ellen, says he has to stop his job. Apparently, they are sort of, in the third movie, is actually more of a standalone movie. Although they used the Brodies, the two Brody children, and I believe Dennis Quaid plays Sean Brody, and no, I can't be wrong. Sean and the other bro, I believe the oldest son, right, is Sean, and he says, "My dad died from the fear of these things, but it's still a standalone movie more." But he in the fourth movie, he is doing these research programs for these Oceanographic Institute, and he's researching in the Bahamas for conch. Conch. That's the right name for it. Conch. 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 It's like, right here, somebody's sort of got a hit from a mule on his head, and he keeps saying conch. Conch. Basically, these are shells, like snails, giant shell snails, and he's investigating that with his partner Mario Van Peebles, who plays this guy. I can't remember his name. He's all in his in that Jamaican accent, while he doesn't have that accent. Come on, man, let's not do some stupid conch today. I mean, so she, of course, doesn't want him to be in the ocean, and that the shark is targeting Brody's. And he says, don't believe in that voodoo shit. Then he takes his mom to the Bahamas, where it's warm and where voodooism is a big thing. And he goes there, and then the most ridiculous thing happens. The shark followed. Now you have to understand, Amity is a made up place, but the Mayor Vaughn, always said that it's across, and that's true because the island of Martha's Vineyard is across Cape Cod, and Cape Cod is mentioned in the first movie. So Cape Cod is basically all the way on the east northern side of America. So the Bahamas, that's all the way down here. And the shark travels that in like 2 days, maybe at the most. Uh, Great whites. Now I'm gonna say this in kilometers. I'm not sure in miles. I'm a metric system guy. They can the fastest they can be is at 30-34 kilometers an hour. That's the fastest. You're gonna tell me that he does like what a distance of, let's say, 2,000 kilometers or more, even, I'm not sure. At least it has to be around 2,000 in 2 fucking days. following them, don't know where they are, but the shark knows, because this is not only a shark movie, this is a supernatural horror movie. And now, spoilers. So they meet this guy in the airplane, Michael Caine, and they're asked, "What do you do for a living?" Oh, flying people. Occasionally doing the illegal shit. I mean, he's acknowledging that he does iffy things with his airplane, and I would gather, because those Bahama traffickers. I mean, how many of those little airplanes flew for Pablo Escobar when he was in the Medellin cartel, shipping his coke to America and whatever? It's possible. But then the shark. I mean, so Mario Van Peebles and I think his name is Jake. They're sitting there, and they're and Brody is the one who's looking for. He's the diver, and he's going under the water, and he's seeing these conch. Like, oh, look, we have a pregnant conch. And then, come on, man. We not paid with the hour. I want to go home. No, no, no. We don't need a pregnant conch. We have enough conch. Oh, Jesus. Then, at some point, the great white comes out of the water. The one that attacked his brother. And it takes a bite out of. They have this, like. They have a sailboat, but they also have this, like, plateau, because the water in the Bahamas is rather tranquil, very beautiful water, and they have this plateau, right, where they can work on. There's a little house on, a little shed on. They have a few people that help them, but then of course Jake is like, "Whoa, do your thing, Mike." No, it's Michael, bro. It's Michael. Michael, bro, it's a fuck. I can't remember the name of. Do you know a great white shark, man? That's accomplishment. Listen, we work on your conch and then few out today to the great white man. Oh, his voice is so frustrating. Just talk normally, Mario Van Peebles. You can. You played fucking Malcolm X. Okay, okay. So they spend a few hours. There no. Now the fucked up thing is that the Brody kid knows, and Alan Brody is there, knows that the Great White, that probably, I mean, at this point he thinks it's the same one that killed his brother. Knows he's around there, and he doesn't say jack shit. Not to his mom, not to his wife, who they have a little kid that's swimming in the ocean, and at some point the shark does attack. We all seen that scene. That's why spoilers. All I think everybody saw that scene where he attacks the banana boat where his daughter's on, and luckily the shark. I mean, luckily it's a shame the shark gets a victim, but takes this. That's the first time we see a victim, because the entire movie long you just get a cat and mouse game between him and the Brody kid going underwater and going into this wreckage, and the sharks following him and into that wreckage, which is fucked up because the shark can swim backwards, which normally no shark can do. And there is, but later on in the movie, there are things that the shark can do that normal sharks can't do. So, and then this shark attacks, kills. I think he wanted to kill that little girl because she's a Brody, half a Brody at least. And he takes the woman. She kind of protects the girl, and she go and she offers herself, and she's in the jaws, and it was a cool shot. I'll agree, it was a cool shot. But then, of course, everybody's freaking out. Uh, Lorraine Gary, she takes the sailing boat, goes after the shark because she knows it's between him and her, and she doesn't want her son to get in the middle. Now her son and Jake, Mario Van Peebles, take Hoagie's plane. They go after because Hoagie has a sort of romantic relationship between Lorraine. I mean, I believe they kiss at some point in the movie during a festival on the island. He's also a gambler. I mean, he's a bum. Yeah. So eventually they see the sailing boat, but they also see the shark in the distance coming towards the sail, in full on collision with the sailing boat. So they land the ship on water. Now, mind you, this isn't a plane that you can. Normally, it should go boom right in the water. Now, maybe you can put it like this in the water, but it's gonna go down like a ton of bricks in the water. So they get the hell out. But then Hoagie's like complaining, always complaining. These travelers, what? Shut the fuck up and get the hell to that fucking sailing boat because there's a fucking shark in there. The shark comes out of the water and he's like, oh damn. He closes the door, so the two make it out to Brody and Jake, they make it out to the boat. But then at some point, Hoagie comes miraculously, he's sank, the shark attacking the ship. And then he comes out of the water miraculously. And he's saying, oh, oh, do you ever smelled the bread on these things? Ooh. And then Lorraine, we flip to Lorraine's face and she's happy. Then we flip back to Hoagie and he's as dry as a bone. His hair, his clothes, everything is dry as a bone. So the guy didn't even. It looked like he never went to the. Okay. So what happens now depends on which cut you see, and I'm not sure which cut is which. So you have two things that happen. First, Jake dies, or Jake doesn't die. I think in the one that Jake doesn't die, so Jake puts this weird apparatus, shocking apparatus, into the mouth of into the jaws of the shark, and then he can, but while doing this, I believe he gets taken by the shark because he's hanging on the beam of the sailboat, the front beam. So he gets taken by the shark. Then we see him underwater in the jaws of the shark, fighting the shark, hitting him in the eyes and shit like that. And then we have the Brody kid playing with this device, and the shark comes out of the water and makes this lion slash T Rex sound. And he makes it. Every time he does that, the shark comes higher and higher out of the water. And then at some point, the thing doesn't work, and at the last moment, the shark comes out of the water high enough, and I mean with high enough, with his back flippers, with his back fin on the water. He's like standing on the water. And then he gets the point of because Lorraine is aiming towards the shark. Hoagie wants to stop her. She just knocks the guy out. She does like, and she aims in the shark, and the shark explodes. Explodes. Now, some believe that she probably hit the device, but was there fucking T in there? Then the second, and then the boat capsizes. And Hoagie comes out of the water. No, Jake comes out of the water. Help me, man, help me. So he's alive. But then you have the darker cut, which basically the same. He puts a thing in the jaw's mouth, the electrode thing. They gets taken, but he's dead. We don't see him underwater. But then something really weird happens. So technically, it's the more realistic, except the roaring sound that it makes and the fact that it can basically stay on the water level with its flippers and just, yeah, it's and she drives the stake, the because it's now a pointy end because it broke off with taking Jake off, and drive it into the shark, and the shark's like blood's coming out of the water. And for some weird reason, everything is like sunny, the Bahamas, beautiful weather. And when that shot happens, everything on the background is gray, like it's gonna storm. It's weird. Black, b- grayish background, and the shark is like, ah. It's almost claymation. Now I know it's not claymation. I know it's a robot, a mechanical shark, but it's like blood's coming out, and eventually it falls to the bottom with the boat, and it basically sinks to the bottom with the boat. Now in this case, Jake's dead. And when the shark explodes, that weird ending, they use the exact same scene, and I believe with the exact same soundtrack from the first movie, when the shark explodes with the tank, when it has the tank in his jaws, and you see clips when Ellen is going towards the shark. Then we see clips of Martin Brody shooting his gun, and then in black and white, and she's remembering it, although she never saw it, but she does remember it. And then at the final moment when she hits it, Martin says, "Smile, you son of a," and the shark explodes in the first movie. She also does that and puts then the thing in, the shark, and it explodes. Same exact scene. The head of the shark is gone, going underwater, and you have that sound. Same exact sound from the first movie. So they took that exact same scene, put it on this movie. Uh, I believe this movie gets somewhere between 4 and 5. Personally, I didn't do a lot of research on this movie because it's a shite movie. We never asked for this. We didn't need a supernatural shark. One great movie, Lightning in a Bottle, one decent sequel, and one standalone movie, in my opinion. That was okay. That was okay. It wasn't that bad. It was okay. You got good actors in that one. And this one had a sheet of great actors, but for some weird reason, it didn't work. The acting wasn't good. They wanted to be somebody else, like Mario Van Peebles, his stupid Jamaican accent that he isn't. Just talk normal. And then Hoagie being this weirdo drug trafficking human transporter, and the fact the shark knows where they are going, how fast he gets there. And the only shot I can tell you is that the cool shot is okay when the shark attacks the woman. It's a cool shot. And then the shot where You have a few when the shark's underwater. I actually thought, okay, the mechanical shark does look somewhat okay, but then that was the only Lance Guest did what he got with the movie. Same, I mean, Michael Caine said, I never saw the movie, but I do know it got me I got me my house that I'm living in today. So he earned a lot of buku, and he made a giant villa mansion with that money that he got for that movie. Because the fact for the matter is, he was receiving a fucking Oscar during that movie, and he couldn't go to it personally because of that movie. So he was a high ranked actor, an Oscar actor. So you had to be paying him a lot of money. And I believe there had to be a lot of money behind this project because it would take Alan Brody back. I mean, the Brody kids, the sequel to the second movie. I mean, right? Because a lot of people hated the third one. Now we get a sequel to the second, and it bombed like hell back then, and it bombs today. It's one of those movies. I believe Chris Stuckman made a hilarosity review. You can check it out. It's pretty funny. I would give it a, because I'm a fan of Jaws, a 4, but I wanted to say 3.5. I'm giving it, you know what? I'm giving it a fucking 3.5. There you go. Jaws Revenge, not worth your time. And if you really just want to see all the movies to complete the franchise, then then you then go with the ending. The most realistic one is the one that she just punctures him, and then the boat goes down with the shark, and that he drowns, and he's horribly wounded, and he dies. But with the weird background that's all in dark, there's something weird with the background. It's super weird. It's like it's done in a studio with a fake, yeah. I believe it's done in a studio with a fake background, and they used like this grayish, like it's gonna storm or something, but it doesn't compute with the weather, with the okay. So in any case, there you have it. Jaws: The Revenge. Tell me what you thought. Subscribe for more fun, and see you later. Bye bye.